Hello buddies, so hope you all are doing great. Today, me, Chavi ma'am, today in front of you, we will be discussing your favorite chapter, which is digestion and absorption. And it is an ultimate recap. That means we will be discussing everything from this chapter within a short duration. That means within this 1 hour, I will be completing the whole chapter. We will be discussing two important topics, guys. One is a digestion and second is your absorption. Like whatever food we eat, how they are digested inside our body and how they are absorbed later on. It gives us energy because it is assimilated later on. So we'll be talking about all these procedures. So hope you all are ready. Yes. So let's start this chapter. So this is the ultimate recap for the chapter digestion and absorption. So whole chapter, guys, I will be discussing. Slowly and slowly we'll be proceeding, and yes, we'll be completing your whole chapter. So before proceeding further, let's discuss some important terminologies. Now guys, when we talk about the process of digestion, right? Process of digestion. Now listen very carefully. So digestion means what? Digestion means it is a process of, we will be first describing these two words which are given in the chapter heading. So digestion means what is happening, buddies, the complex substances, right, the complex organic substances, they are converted into the simple inorganic substances. Simple inorganic substances. These are the complex organic substances. And how does it happen? Because our whole digestive system is filled with so many enzymes. And yes, these enzymes, they are under the control of various hormones which are also secreted by body. Clear, buddies? Now these simple inorganic substances, inorganic substances, right, they are being taken up by the body or the body cell, right? And how do they reach there? They reach there with the help of what? With the help of blood, right? Clear? So initially they are present in our digestive tract. Inorganic substances, they are present inside the digestive tract, and from the digestive tract they are absorbed into the blood. Now here, buddies, I am writing one terminology, that is absorption. This is absorption. So hope this terminology is also clear to you. Absorption. So first one is this digestion. That means this whole conversion. Let me write over here. For your simplicity, this is your digestion, right? Second, we have discussed regarding the absorption, and later on it reaches up to each and every cell of the body. On all these cells, they get energy, right? So this is termed as assimilation. Assimilation. So this is a third terminology. Clear? So hope the three words, they are clear to you, starting from the digestion to absorption and assimilation. Now buddies, let's proceed further, right? So we have talked about these three terminology, but digestion doesn't start with digestion. It starts whenever you take food inside your mouth. Clear? So first we have is ingestion. That means you're going to take food inside your mouth, and ingestion. Later on, buddies, we have is the digestion. The third we have is your absorption, and the fourth we have is your assimilation, and the very important fifth step we have is egestion. Clear? All these terminologies are clear. If I'll ask you again, will you be able to give me answer? So ingestion, we have absorption, we have assimilation, and the egestion. Clear? Now this chapter, buddies, is only about these two words. That is the digestion, majorly the digestion, and the absorption. whole process which you can see on your screen, this is responsible for giving us nutrition. This is responsible for giving us nutrition. And just imagine this situation, if you're not getting enough of nutrition, then what will happen? Nutrition. So that means nutrition means what? That means we are having nutrients. And how we are having nutrients? By eating the proper food. Nutrition. So if no proper nutrition, then what will happen? Then there will be malnutrition. Malnutrition. Now here I would like to discuss with you two specific examples of malnutrition. For example, the marasmus and the kwashiorkor. This you must have studied in your lower classes. Whenever we talk about the marasmus, see, in both the cases deficiency is there. But specific deficiency, that is a protein deficiency, is there. Now, first let's talk about the marasmus. So, marasmus is occur between the age group up to, it basically up to the 1 year of age. That means if a child is born and he or she is not getting proper nutrition. For example, mother is pregnant again. In that case, mother milk is not sufficient, or it is not even properly provided to the baby. In that case, what will happen? The marasmus. So, marasmus, the symptoms, we all know about it. This you must have studied in the lower class. The marasmus. So that means what will happen? The person will look very thin. Very thin. Second we have is a kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor is specifically due to deficiency of protein. Kwashiorkor, when a child is having low protein content, when the child is more than 1 year of age, so that is termed as the kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor, in that case, thinning is there. That means a person will not be a proper body structure. The person will be thin. They will be having a broad chest. They, in fact, in these cases, the person or the babies or the kids, they will be having a pot belly. Edema is also seen. That is because of the protein deficiency. So these are the malnutrition. Or with this, we can get this idea that ultimately the whole process of digestion is important. If we are not taking enough food, or the second case, first case, not taking enough of food, or second, if not proper digestion is occurring inside our body, it will lead to the malnutrition. So both of these should occur properly. We should eat a proper food. We should eat the food which is a balanced diet, that should have a carbohydrates, your proteins, your lipid. Other than that, they should also have some vitamins and the minerals. Because you know, the vitamins and the minerals, they are the protective substance in our body which protect us from the various diseases. This you all know because we have already faced corona. So let's further proceed. Is this clear? Now I'll be discussing each and every topic one by one, but yes, we will be discussing this with the help of a chart. Are you guys ready? Let's have a look. Now, first of all, let's talk about the human digestive system. So this chapter is all about the human digestive system only. We are not talking about the digestive system of any other organisms. So I'll be giving you an overview of the whole digestive system. This you must have studied. Now, before talking about this, the one thing which you should know, that protein, whenever we talk about proteins, nowadays people, they are more moving towards the protein diet. Yes, proteins, they are important. Similarly, carbohydrates, they are also important for our body, because carbohydrate is the one by which the organism or our body obtain energy. So either it is protein or the fat, body converts it into carbohydrates, and from that carbohydrates we get energy, right? So that is termed as their gross calorific value. That is a gross calorific value. That means 1 gram of 1 gram of carbohydrate releases this much of energy. So that is their gross calorific value, right? And all these values, either it is related to the carbohydrates, or it is proteins, or it is fat. Whenever it is burned down, some heat is also released. So the overall energy which is left behind, which is used by our body cell, this is termed as physiological calorific value. Let's write that also, right? So energy, yes. So either it is your protein, your carbohydrates. Suppose you're eating some carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, or you're eating fats, or you're eating some proteins, right? All of this, they will be broken down and ultimately gives us some energy, right? Clear? And some are released in the form of heat. Both of these, they are termed as your gross calorific value. Whereas when we talk about this energy will be used by the cells. Am I right? Will be used by the cell. This is termed as physiological calorific value. So which one will be greater? Gross calorific value or physiological? Definitely the gross calorific value will be greater as compared to a physiological calorific value. Clear? And this particular value is maximum for the fats. It is maximum for fat. It doesn't mean we keep on eating ghee. We should keep on eating the fats, the saturated and unsaturated fat. No, because body body takes up the energy in the form of the carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, they are broken down into the simpler form, and later on we get energy out of it. That definitely you'll see when I'll be talking about the process of digestion. So don't worry about it. Buddies, clear? Let's dive deep into this topic. So this is an overview, chart we will be discussing. So what is this overall chart? This overall chart, that means we will be discussing each and every topic with the help of this particular thing. Now listen. Now let's talk about the digestive system. 1 second. Let's talk about the digestive system. So whole digestive system is divided into two different parts. One is termed as your alimentary canal, and second is termed as some digestive glands. What are these digestive glands? Now listen very silently and carefully. Alimentary canal is that canal which starts with your mouth and it ends in the anus, right? It starts with the mouth. Now listen. Let's have a look, buddies. So it starts with the mouth. So first of all, we have is a mouth. Later on, we have is a esophagus. And then we have is the next one, which is termed as your stomach. And like this. Then we have our intestine, the small intestine. Then we have is a large intestine. And from the large intestine, it moves towards the outside through the anus. Clear? Clear? So first, I'll discuss with you first of all the whole path. Now it starts, listen look at me very carefully. It starts with the mouth, which is a transfer slit. From here the food enters into the buccal cavity. From the buccal cavity, food enters into this pipe, which is termed as a esophagus. From esophagus, it enters into a pouch like structure, and this is a J-shaped structure, which is termed as a stomach. From the stomach, food enters into the small intestine. Small intestine has three parts. The first one, duodenum. Second one, jejunum. Third one is a ileum. Now next, food enters into the large intestine. In the large intestine, we have cecum, we have colon, we have rectum. Rectum is that place where feces are stored till defecation. And it moves out with the help of an aperture that is termed as anus, that is the defecation process is complete involuntary process. Clear? Clear? Clear, buddies? Now let's talk about each of these one by one. Let's first talk about the mouth. So mouth is what? It is a transverse aperture. Mouth is guarded by lips, upper lip and lower lip. Towards inner side, if you'll go, you have that region which is outside your teeth but inside your lips. Can you do it like this? Do it like this and don't make a fun of me. And if you're going to, you'll feel some spaces there, that is termed as vestibule. Similarly, towards your cheek also, the teeth and the cheek region, in between the teeth and the cheek region, do it like this. So this is what? These are your vestibule. These are vestibule. Clear? Now let's go inside. Inside we have is a cavity that is termed as your buccal cavities. Now buddies, this is the buccal cavity. This is what buddies? Your buccal cavity. I'll do one thing. I'll change this color. Let's take a red color. 1 second. Okay. So this is buccal cavity. What is another name of buccal cavity? Oral cavity. So oral cavity has 3 different parts. It has the teeth. Guys, can you see? Teeth. Right? It has a palate. Now this is termed as a palate. Palate. And what does it has? A tongue. Tongue. Right? So this is a tongue. Now all you must be wondering, ma'am, why are we discussing such basic thing? Because now we have to go deep into this topic. Now, let's talk about teeth. Teeth. So how many teeth are there in adult? How many teeth, buddies? Let's write it down. Teeth. How many teeth are there in adult? 32. Total 32 teeth. Right? Clear? Now, let's first talk about teeth. Then I'll be moving towards the tongue and then the palate. And then we will complete your oral cavity. So, we were talking about the teeth. So 3 terminologies you should remember as far as your teeth are considered. The first one is heterodont. Heterodont. So heterodont means different type of teeth. We have different type of teeth. For example, buddies, we have incisor, we have canine, we have premolar, and next we have is your molar. So this is 2, 1, 2 and 3. Here, these are the different type of teeth. Incisors, they are for biting, tearing. Canines, they are for tearing. Whereas when we talk about the premolar, premolar is for the chewing part. The molars, they are for chewing as well as the grinding part. Clear? So we have different type of teeth. So that is the reason first terminologies which you buddy have to remember is a heterodont type of dentation. Second, second term, this is the first term which you have to remember. Second term, diphyodont. Diphyodont. Now let's have a look at this word, diphyodont. So teeth occur twice. So when we talk about when we talk about the children, the dental formula is 2102 upon 2102. Whereas in the case of adult, we have dental formula 2123 upon 2123. Let me be clear. 2 is incisor, canine, premolar and molar. On one side we are talking about. If you are just taking upper jaw, one side, 2 incisor on one side, then 1 canine, then I have 2 premolar and 3 molar. Clear? So this is how we write dental formula, and we have different type. Here guys, when we talk about the upper jaw and the lower jaw, buddies, I am talking about this particular region. So we'll be having 2 incisors, we have 1 canine, 2 premolar and 3 molar, like this. Clear? Clear? Yes. Now typhodont condition is clear. So that means in the children, what is absent? So how did I write this? I wrote this by, these are the incisor, this 1 is canine, this 0 is your premolar, PM, and this is your molar. So if someone asks you what are the different type of teeth which are absent in children, you have to remember this is a premolar, and the second one which is absent is a third molar. As teeth, they are replaced twice, they are replaced, so that is a condition, they are termed as diphyodont. That means they come twice in our lifetime, diphyodont. Clear? So hope second terminology is also clear. Let's talk about the third important terminology, heterodont and the diphodont. Third is the thecodont. Thecodont. So thecodont buddies are what? Thecodont, that means teeth are embedded in socket. In socket. That means if you look at our teeth, they have a 3 different region. They have a crown which is visible from outside, some neck region, as well as a root. So root is embedded in the gums, gingiva, that is gums. They are embedded over there, and that is the reason we call it the thecodont condition, embedded in socket. 3 terminology as far as the human teeth are considered. Hope it is clear. One important question that comes from this topic is that when we talk about the hardest part, so hardest part in our body is enamel. So when we talk about the crown part, the one which is visible from outside, you can see your teeth. So one which is visible from your from outer side, that is a teeth, that is a crown region present, and which is covered with enamel, hardest part. Below the enamel we have is a dentine. Below this we have is a pulp cavity where the nerves, the blood vessels, the lymph vessels, they are present. Clear? Now let's move towards the tongue region. So tongue, right? So if you look at the tongue is attached to the base of hyoid bone. It is attached to the base of hyoid bone. Over here you can see anteriorly it is free, posteriorly it is attached to the hyoid bone. Below this, can you touch, just feel it, or you can take a mirror also, you can see the tongue is attached to the base with the help of this membrane like structure that is termed as frenulum. F-R-E-N-U-L-U-M, right? So this is termed as frenulum. Frenulum. Clear? All the type of teeth, they are clear. Now on the tongue region you will find various taste buds. So taste buds, they are present on papillae. They are present on papillae. We have various kinds of papillae like circumvallate, we have fungiform, we have foliate, we have filiform. Filiform papillae, they are numerous, and filiform papillae are those papillae which doesn't have taste bud. Clear? So various papillae, they are present. Now with this we have completed the mouth. One specific thing is left, that is this particular hanging structure. Now you can see also this is termed as uvula. This is termed as uvula. Right? Clear? So it basically covers the nasopharynx so that food during the deglutination process, it should not enter into the nasal cavity. So it covers the upper region of the nose. Yes, interesting. So with this we have completed your mouth region. Let's move towards the next region, that is stomach. Before talking about the stomach, we have one canal that is termed as a esophagus. It's just a canal which helps in the passage of food. Here, once the food is on our mouth, The mouth, it is mixed with saliva. They are broken down with the help of teeth as well as tongue. And after that, a structure is formed which is termed as a bolus, and bolus enters into our alimentary canal. In alimentary canal, the part is next part is the esophagus. So in the esophagus, it acts as a pipe which helps in the movement of food, where there is a continuous, if I can show you, there is a continuous process of peristalsis, where the some muscles they stretch, or later on they relax. The stretching and the relaxing of these muscles, they push the food towards the lower side. Now then the food enters into the stomach. The food from the esophagus and to the stomach, this is guarded by one particular valve that is termed as the cardiac valve, right? So that is termed as, I'll write it here, the cardiac valve. Cardiac valve, right? Then the food enters into the stomach. Stomach has various parts like fundus, it has cardia, it has a pylorus part. Clear? Now, listen very carefully. Normally, there are 4 parts of the stomach. Clear? Let's have a look. Let's make this diagram also. So, buddies, when we talk about the stomach is something like this. It is a structure like this. Clear? Now, I'm going to give you a proper picture. This is termed as your cardiac valve. Cardiac valve. This is a J-shaped stomach, J-shaped structure. Now, buddies, listen very carefully. Super important information is coming. This particular area is termed as cardiac because it is near to the heart, right? Now, this is termed as the fundus region. Then this is termed as the body. This is termed as the pyloric part. Pyloric part. Here, buddies, we have one sphincter, again valve, a sphincter is present. This is termed as pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter, right? Now this is the esophagus. This is a esophagus. This is a stomach, right? J-shaped. This is what? This is our stomach, and then food enters into the duodenum. Here some rugae are present. Rugae means some folds are present. If you look at the structure, it has some folds like this, which increase the surface area. This is rugae. Clear? These are the rugae are present. Now let's talk about the next part. Now let's talk about the next part, which is the small intestine. In the small intestine, various parts are there. The first part we have is the duodenum. This is the first part. Then we have is the jejunum. And third we have is the ileum. If someone asks you, where does the major digestion occur? You should remember the major digestion occur in the duodenum region. It doesn't happen in the it doesn't happen in the large intestine, but it happens in the small intestine. In the small intestine, the one region that is a duodenum where the major digestion occur. Now jejunum is a coiled region. It has various folds where the absorption occur. Ileum is also the place where the absorption occurs. Small intestine is clear. Let's talk about later we have is a large intestine. So in the large intestine, digestion doesn't occur. Here the major absorption occur, like water absorption, like mineral absorption, as well as the absorption of certain steroid Now you all must be wondering, where are these steroids coming from? Basically the drugs. Whenever you consume drugs in the like steroids in the form of drugs, they are absorbed in our large intestine. It has three different parts: the cecum, it has a rectum, and it has a colon. So cecum is what? Cecum is a first region. That is a first region, that is cecum. Now, this is a cecum. This particular region is a cecum. Clear? So cecum, it has a blind sac-like structure that is termed as, here you can see a structure like this, that is termed as a vermiform appendix. That is a vestigial structure, vermiform appendix. Clear? It's a lymphoid organ. It's a vestigial structure. Now from this, the food enters into the colon. So colon further has three different parts. Clear? Now as you can see, we have a colon like this particular colon, right? Ascending colon. Then we have is the transverse colon. Then we have is a descending colon, and this is a sigmoid colon. So three parts are there. Ascending colon, then we have is a transverse colon, the descending colon, and the sigmoid colon. Clear? Next we have is a rectum. Rectum. Later on we have a region that is a rectum. Rectum opens to outside through the anus, from where the feces comes out. Clear? Now, look at this diagram. Look at this diagram. Now, this diagram is of a histera. That means we are talking about the layers which are present inside the gut. Now, outermost layer we have is a serosa layer, right? Mesothelium layer, right? So that is a squamous epithelium, serosa layer. Below this serosa layer, what do we find is a muscularis layer, right? We have is the muscularis layer. Now listen again very carefully. So we have is longitudinal layer, longitudinal muscularis layer, right? And then towards inner side we have circular layer, right? Circular muscle layer. So outer side the muscles will be arranged in a longitudinal way. Towards the inner side in muscularis propria, the cells or these are arranged in a circular manner. So it has outer longitudinal and inner circular layer. So how you can remember this? You can remember this by LOCI. Outer longitudinal, inner circular. Clear? It has a muscular layer. Now always remember that in case of stomach, another layer is present, that is your transverse layer. Muscularis, the transfer layer is also present. Muscularis propria is clear. Outermost layer is clear. Hope this is a fast revision for you guys and you guys are enjoying. Now next one we have is submucosa. Submucosa is that layer which is rich in blood vessel, nerve supply, and in very important guys, note it down right now. Note it down right now. So here in the duodenum region, submucosa, very important. Submucosa has Brunner's gland. Brunner's gland, which secrete calcium ion and basically mucus, which protect the small intestine from the acidic food coming from the stomach. Very important. So it has Brunner gland. One of the very important questions which was asked in the NEET examination many times in fact. Clear? This topic is clear? Now let's proceed further. Now later on we have is a mucosa, right? The innermost layer, that is a mucosa layer is present, and this mucosa layer in case of stomach, I told you the rugae are present, and in case of small intestine, microvilli, those villi are present. Clear? And on this villi, so villi, if someone asks you, you all must have studied in the structure organization chapter. So they are having a columnar epithelium, ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay. Let's further talk about the second half of this chapter, which is your digestive gland. So various digestive glands are present. So first digestive gland, let's talk about. In the mouth, we have a salivary glands. So salivary glands, they are present in the mouth. We have 3 pairs of salivary gland. We have parotid gland below this ear here. Parotid gland, a pair of parotid gland. We have is a sublingual. Sub means below. Lingual means below the tongue. Below the tongue. So that is a sublingual gland. Submandibular gland or submaxillary glands. They are present over here. See, they are present over here. Clear? Buddy is clear? So if someone asks you how many pairs of these glands are present, you should say the 3 pairs. How many? 3 pairs. Yes, clear, my future doctors? Come on. Now let's proceed further. Let's talk about another gland, which is the liver. You know what does a liver secrete? So liver secretes bile. So what does a liver secrete? Bile. And it helps in digestion of fat. Emulsification of fat. That means a larger fat droplets, they will be converted into smaller and smaller. So that digestive enzymes, they can act on it. Now, this bile which is coming from the liver, this is a liver, right? It is stored in a pear-shaped structure, and this pear-shaped structure is termed as a gallbladder. This is termed as a gallbladder. And from this gallbladder, it comes out, and this bile enters into the duodenum region. It enters into the duodenum region. Where is the duodenum? The duodenum region. Clear? Now, this enters into the duodenum region. Now, let's talk about another gland, that is a pancreas, right? Now, pancreas has 2 different functions. It has exocrine as well as endocrine function. Exocrine function, that means they are going to secrete some enzymes. And those cells which secrete these enzymes, they are termed as acini. Acini, right? Whereas we have some cells which are endocrine, and these endocrine cells, they are termed as islets of Langerhans. Of Langerhans. Right? In the islets of Langerhans, whenever we talk about the alpha cells secrete glucagon. The beta cells of islets of Langerhans, they secrete insulin. We have gamma cells also which secrete somatostatin. Clear? Clear? Yes. Now the duct which is coming from the liver, it joins with the duct which is coming from the pancreas. They common form hepatopancreatic duct, and they enter or they release their secretion directly into the duodenum. Clear? They release their secretion directly into the duodenum. Hope this revision, you're finding this revision of we are discussing everything. Clear? Now, do we have other type of glands also? Yes, we have other type of glands also. Let's talk about the intestinal gland. Yes, in the intestine region also, this particular region, the glands are present. These glands, they are present in the crypts of Lebercam. Yes, they are present in the crypts of Lebercam. And these glands, they secrete various enzymes. So these enzymes like carboxypeptidases are there. Sorry. Listen. So intestinal glands. Yes. So intestinal glands secrete various enzymes. Carboxypeptidase is secreted by the pancreas, not by intestinal juice. So intestinal juice, they are termed as, they secrete juice which is termed as succus entericus, and this succus entericus has various enzymes which helps in the final digestion. For example, intestinal lipases. For example, your amylases. For example, it has maltases. It secretes lactases, right? Lactases of further digestion. I'll tell you about it. Don't worry. Now, there are some gastric glands in the stomach also. Yes, various glands are there in the stomach. Now these glands, they have different secretion. Now let's talk about it. Now here we talked about the stomach. Let's talk about the glands which are present in stomach. Now guys, listen. Here the first important is the chief cells. There are some chief cells in stomach, and these chief cells, they secrete what? They are chief. So they secrete proenzymes. Proenzymes. They secrete proenzyme. Second one we have is oxyntic cell. An oxyntic cell secrete HCl and CIF. Castle intrinsic factor. It secrete Castle intrinsic. I'll elaborate this here. Castle intrinsic factor, which helps in absorption of vitamin B12. Clear? Now let's talk about further. The third type of cells are the mucous neck cells, which secrete mucus, right? Because in the stomach HCl is there, so if HCl is there, some wearing and tearing will definitely happen, and it can cause damage to the wall of stomach. In that case, mucus is secreted, which this mucus protects the lining of the stomach from the damage caused by this HCl. So chief cells, oxyntic cells, and the mucous neck cell. Let's proceed further. Liver, we have talked about the liver. If someone asks you what is a basic unit of liver, you should say there are the lobules. Hepatic lobules are present in the liver, and they are the basic unit, and they secrete bile. So bile has bile pigments, it has various ions, and it doesn't have enzyme. Always remember, bile doesn't have enzyme. Clear? Okay, let's proceed further. Now, let's talk about the process of digestion. Hope this is clear. Hope the previous topic, which was related to the structure which is present in the body, one is alimentary canal and second is a gland, is clear to all my buddies. Let's talk about the process of digestion, right? So what are we discussing right now? The process of digestion. In a very short way, I will be defining you how does this digestion occur. So digestion occur in two different steps. The first step is the mechanical digestion. It's the mechanical digestion. So mechanical digestion, everyone says that mechanical digestion, ma'am, it only happens in the mouth region. No, buddies, you're wrong over here. Yes, in the mouth, the grinding occur, the chewing occur. Yes, it happens mechanically. The larger part of the food are converted into the smaller part. Similarly, your stomach. You remember I talked about the rugae? Those folds which are present in the stomach, they also help in the churning process. They also help in the churning process. Now, in the small intestine also, the segmentation occur. So, it happens in the three different parts, mechanical digestion. Clear? Clear, clear, clear? Now, let's talk about the chemical digestion, the most important part of this chapter, that is the chemical digestion. Now, first, let's talk about your favorite mouth. So, mouth. So, what is there in the mouth? We all know mouth has salivary amylase. So, salivary amylase is what? Salivary amylase is coming from the salivary glands. 3 pairs of salivary glands. They secrete salivary amylase, which help in digestion of starch. So, that means which digestion will occur over here? The first thing is the carbohydrate digestion. That means if I say out of 100, 30% starch digestion occur over here. 30% starch digestion. So a polysaccharide, which is a starch, is converted into a disaccharide, which is a maltose. Clear? Mouth, hope it is clear. Yes, if someone says you that in the salivary gland also secrete the lipases. Lipases helps in digestion of fat. Yes, it is there, but the no fat digestion occur over here. Now let's talk about, I'll be talking about this particular part, that is a stomach. Now, if your teacher asks you, does digestion occur in the esophageal region? No. No digestion occur in the esophageal region. Now next is the stomach part. So what is the stage of shape of stomach? You should remember it is a J-shaped structure. J-shaped structure. Another important question which was asked from this topic was, what is the shape of duodenum? So duodenum is C-shaped structure. Duodenum is C-shaped structure. Now let's talk about the stomach. Clear? Let's talk about the stomach. So let me start. Right? Now, in the stomach region, listen, protein digestion occur. Which digestion occur? Protein digestion. In the mouth region, which digestion occur? Carbohydrate digestion. Here the protein digestion occur. Who does this protein digestion? You can thank to the pepsinogen. Here pepsinogen is there. So pepsinogen is an inactive form that is converted into pepsin. And who converts this? The HCl. And this pepsin converts the protein into polypeptide. Converts the protein into polypeptide. Clear? Pepsin is clear. Role of HCl is clear. If someone asks you what's the role of HCl, you will say they help in activation of the zymogen, the inactive enzyme, which is a pepsinogen, into the pepsin. First thing. What else the role is? That means if we are eating some food, definitely it will be having some bacteria. So those bacteria, they will be killed by the highly acidic pH of stomach. Pepsin. Now, body is clear. And here you should remember the Castle intrinsic factor also, which help in absorption of vitamin B12. If there will be less or the no absorption of the vitamin B12, what will happen? It will lead to a kind of anemia, which is termed as a macrocytic anemia. Yes. Stomach is clear. Hope you are not going to forget this. Now let's move further. Let's talk about the another region. So after the stomach, what do we have is the small intestine region. Now the major digestion will occur in the small intestinal region. Now, I'll be discussing this, but just have some patience. Now, let's talk about small intestine. Small intestine. A quick overview I'm going to give you for the process of digestion. Just fasten your seat belt because now we are going to fly high in the process of digestion, definitely. So first let's talk about the carbohydrate. Carbohydrates. Clear? So in the carbohydrates, I talked about it, that the major 30% of digestion of the starch occur inside the mouth. Whereas in the small intestine also, the complex, that means a starch, is also digested by two different enzymes. Now, first one is pancreatic amylase. Pancreatic amylase, and second one is intestinal amylase. Intestinal amylase. See? And they will be converted into the maltose. They will be converted into the maltose. Now this maltose will be converted into the monosaccharide. Right? With the help of what? With the help of maltases. Maltases. And maltases is present where? Maltases is present, it is secreted by intestine. Secreted by intestine. right? Pancreatic amylase is secreted by pancreas. Intestinal amylase is secreted by intestine. Clear? Clear? So we got monosaccharide over here. That's it. Digestion completed for the carbohydrate. So digestion started in the mouth region. It ended up in the intestinal region. Let's talk about the next one. Carbohydrate is done. Let's talk about the protein digestion. Protein digestion. In a short way, listen very carefully. Listen to this point. Now, look at this slide. Here we talked about the proteins. They are converted into the polypeptides, right? So, we have polypeptides in small intestine. But we will be having some proteins also. We will be having some proteins also. So, in a in a stepwise manner, they will be broken down into the amino acid. But before breaking down into the amino acid, they will be broken down into proteoses and peptones. Peptones, right? Later on, they will be broken down into the dipeptide, and from here amino acid will be released. Amino acid, they will be released. Now buddies, focus on this point. Will all your eyes open? We have protein digestion. Polypeptide will be converted into the dipeptide, whereas the proteins, they will be converted into other polypeptide chains, which are proteoses and peptones. So here various enzymes are important. Now first of all, we will be discussing here the pancreatic enzyme. So pancreatic enzyme, first of all, they will work. How they will work? Let's have a look. So here both the enzymes, they will work. Pancreatic enzyme as well as the intestinal enzyme. Intestinal enzymes. Both enzymes will work, right? Now the first enzyme which I have mentioned over here, the pancreatic enzyme. So in pancreatic enzyme we have is the trypsin. We have is the second one, the trypsin and chymotrypsin. Chymotrypsin. Clear? The trypsin and the chymotrypsin. Clear buddies? See, trypsin will be there in the form of trypsinogen. And there is one enzyme which is secreted by the intestine. So I'll tell you. It is initially in the form of trypsinogen. Trypsinogen. This is converted into trypsin by enterokinase. Enterokinase. Clear? Now, trypsin, they act on chymotrypsinogen. Chymotrypsinogen. Trypsinogen. And it forms a chymotrypsin. Clear? So both this enzyme active form trypsin and the chymotrypsin. So initially, so these are the pancreatic enzyme trypsinogen. So trypsinogen and chymotrypsinogen, both of these, they are enzymes, they are present in the pancreatic juice. Now both will be activated. They act on the polypeptide in the protein chain and they convert into the proteoses and peptones. Whereas some intestinal enzymes are also there. For example, aminopeptidases. For example, aminopeptidases. They are going to act. Clear? Right? This is coming from intestine. Later on, here, what will happen? The carboxypeptidase will act. Right? You can write this down in the bracket. This is coming again from the pancreas. Right? All these things, they are happening in the small intestine. And later on, another enzyme will work And the name of this enzyme is here dipeptidases. Dipeptidases. So dipeptidases is coming from intestine. This is coming from intestine. Clear? So ultimately we have is the amino acid. So always remember, it is the intestinal enzymes which helps in the final breakdown. Either you look at this, it is secreted by intestine when we talk about the carbohydrate digestion. Similarly over here also the dipeptidases, which is also coming from the intestine. Clear? So major digestion, definitely it is going to happen in the small intestine, that is in the duodenum region. So protein digestion, polypeptide proteins. Polypeptide, that means they are already broken down in the stomach. And proteins, that means those which are not digested in the stomach, they will be converted into proteoses and peptoses. That is because of the two different type of enzyme. One is a pancreatic enzyme and second is the intestinal enzymes. Aminopeptidases, that is an intestinal enzyme. Here we have the trypsin and the chymotrypsin. Both will act, both will form the proteoses and the peptone. Carboxypeptidase is going to act on it. It will form a dipeptide. Later on, the dipeptidases will act and dipeptidases will convert this dipeptide into the amino acid. Clear? No more rocket science. Clear? So with this we have completed the digestion of the carbohydrates and protein. Both are being digested. Monosaccharide we got and here we got the amino acid. This is what we were looking for. Clear? Now let's talk about the digestion of, let's talk about one more thing. The digestion of nucleic acid. So here this also occurs in the small intestine. Small intestine. Small intestine. So here, buddies, I am talking about the nucleic acid digestion. That means the polynucleotide chain. Right? DNA, RNA. We all eat DNA, RNA also. So that is being broken down by nucleases. Nucleases. Right? What do we get? We get nucleotide. Nucleotide. Right? This nucleotide is broken down into nucleoside. And then it is further broken down into the base, the sugar, and the phosphate. Sorry, base and sugar only. It doesn't have phosphate, right? Now, various enzymes further going to act over here. Nucleotide, which enzyme will act? Nucleotidase. Nucleotidase. Here, the nucleosidase. Nucleosidase is going to act. Clear? So we have nucleases. Now question comes, very, very, very important question. So nucleases comes from which region? This comes from pancreas. And I told you many times, where does the final digestion occur? Or who is responsible for final digestion? That is the intestine. So both of these, they come from intestine. Intestine. Now, small intestine is done. Sorry, the DNA, RNA is done. Let's further talk about very important further part, that is the fat digestion, the lipid digestion. Right? Clear? Now, first of all, we have is bigger droplet of fat. Right? This is converted into the smaller droplet of fat. Smaller droplet of fat. And who does this? The bile. Your favorite bile. Right? What does it do? The emulsification of fat. The bigger fat droplet, they are converted into the smaller fat droplet. Now what will happen, guys? Now, buddies, lipases will come. What will come? Lipases. Who is going to attack? Lipases. So, lipases will come. Now another question. From where does these lipases come from? Lipases come from two different regions, intestinal as well as pancreatic. So here I am writing P plus I. That means pancreatic plus intestinal, both lipases, they are going to act over here. Where does this digestion is? Where is this digestion happening? It is happening in the small intestine duodenum region, everybody. Now, listen. Now, it is going to digest it, and later on, there will be formation of the micelles. Micelles formation. Right? From the micelles, it will form the chylomicron, and they are absorbed in lacteals. Lacteals, yes, these are the lymph vessels, lacteals. Body is clear? So this is how the digestion occurs. Clear? Now let's look at this. So amylases, pancreas, this is how the everything digestion occur. So this is what you have to remember. So these things, whatever it is, I have already explained you. Happy? Happy? And if you have any doubt, what do you have to do? You have to comment, and your Chavi ma'am is with you. Definitely I'm going to help. Let's proceed. Let's move on to the next topic. That's a step in the digestion. So this, all the steps, buddies. Are you acquainted with these steps? Yes, we have completed these steps, isn't it? We have already completed this step. Another very important part is some disorders, and we'll be focusing on only those disorders which are mentioned in NCERT. Now, first one is a jaundice. So, jaundice is basically the skin, the eyes, the nails, they become pale. This is because of the bile pigments. They are the waste material whenever they accumulate. So that is actually a liver disorder, jaundice. Second we have is a vomiting. So vomiting means whatever things which are happening in the stomach, they come out. Yeah, isn't it disgusting? So that is a vomiting. So before vomiting, we get a feeling of nausea, and later on, puke. Now, question comes, where is the center located? Always remember, center is located, here, in the medulla region. Now let's talk about the diarrhea. That means frequency of bowel movement is increased. Clear? And they are liquid. That means hope you understood. Now, let's talk about the constipation. Constipation, that means person is not able to remove the feces. Clear? Very bad. So these things, like these feces, they are stored in the rectum and they are expelled out. So two sphincters are there. One sphincter towards the inner side, towards the rectum region, they are involuntary, and the outer sphincter is voluntary. Second one we have is indigestion. That means food is not properly digested, so we feel bloated, we don't feel good, etc. Clear? We feel pain. Mama, I don't want to go to school because I have pain in the stomach. That is indigestion, because yesterday you must, you had some very bad food. Okay, so congratulations guys. Within this 1 hour, almost 1 hour, 3 minutes extra, we have completed the whole chapter. I have summarized you everything. So hope you like this video. If yes, then you know what you have to do. You have to give thumbs up to the Chavi ma'am. So take care guys. See you in the next session. Till then, keep studying, keep loving, and keep studying. So other than loving, you have to study also. Take care. Bye-bye everyone.